Hey, folks. All right, we're going to get started here in just a second. So, going live today. Wanted to try something. We're going to have a little fun with this. So, we'll see who joins us. Obviously, if you have any questions as I'm going, feel free to put them in the comments and I'll try to respond as I see them. So, what I'm going to be doing today is showing you sort of behind the scenes, kind of an exciting project that I've been working on here for about the past year. The idea is that I'm going to show you how to build your own AI lead magnets from scratch. All right. So let me start out by kind of explaining the concept here. I know some of you maybe have seen me talking about this in the past. So let me go ahead and pull this up on my screen, kind of show you what we're looking at. So here's one of the ideas. All right. So let me start here. Right. What is this? This is a neighborhood matchmaker, and this one's specifically for the St. Louis area. Now, what is a neighborhood matchmaker? So this is an AI powered tool. This uses the OpenAI artificial intelligence software. Okay, so this is the same kind of software that empowers ChatGPT. All right, so that's what we're working with. All right. Now, what I did is I went through and I created sort of an interface for ChatGPT's software, right? Basically on the back end. And what it does is it basically narrows down what the AI does to one specific use case. That's the entire idea behind this, right? So, what I want you to think about is like, think about your customers, think about the kind of people you're trying to attract to your business. What are some things you would give them for free that they would want, that have some value to them, right? So, for instance, if you're a real estate agent, somebody that might want to, somebody's thinking about moving, somebody's thinking about buying a house on the other side of town, probably want to know a little bit about the areas that they're considering moving to. So that's the idea here, right? As we say, okay, let's make a tool that helps them make that decision. We're going to put it on our website, and then we're going to tell everybody we possibly can all about this tool, right? So this in particular, you can come in here, you can check off kind of different things you're looking for. I like parks. I like having access to public transportation. I like quiet neighborhoods. How far away are you willing to be? You can add in additional, lots of trees, for instance. I like, areas with lots of natural shade, whatever it might be. And then you click on find neighborhood, right? So imagine if you're a real estate agent having this sort of thing on your website. The idea here is that if somebody is starting to look into this, they're starting to think about moving, this makes your website more sticky, right? It makes it more likely somebody's going to land on your website. They're going to spend more time on your website, right? Because they're going to use the tool probably more than once. So they're going to come here, fill it out, get their answers, maybe fill it out again. And the idea is that this is going to mean that your website is able to provide more value to your prospects, which is sort of always a major win, right? On the other hand, you can also go out and tell people that you have this tool available. And so some of you have probably seen me do this, where I'll go to my social media and I'll just sort of paste and say, "Hey, I made an AI tool. It does X, Y, Z. Do you want to try it? Let me know." And then we get a bunch of comments on those posts, bunch of people engaging with me, and then I share this over to them. All right. So that is what I'm going to show you how to build here today, is how to use ChatGPT. This does not require you to be able to write any code. So this is actually something I really do think anybody could ultimately do. And then I'm going to show you how to embed this onto your website and how to use it to generate a whole bunch of leads. All right. So that's kind of the idea behind this quick demo. So what I'm thinking about doing is, if this is interesting, if you like it, if you appreciate me sharing this kind of insight, I might just start doing this every week and sort of building a new tool from scratch every single time. Right. So we'll see how this goes, and we'll kind of go from there. All right. So first of all, this is, first thing I want to show you is kind of like, what is it we're talking about? Now, taking this a step further, let's say you make your tool. What are you going to be doing with it? This is kind of what I recommend here, which is a landing page, explains what the tool is. It has a video of you demonstrating how to use the tool at the top. The other thing that allows you to do is then tell people, look, once you use this tool and you get the answers that you're looking for, scroll down to the bottom of the page and fill out this form so we can have a further conversation, right? So the idea in this particular example is, look, you got some ideas on your ideal neighborhood. Come down here, fill in the form, and I'll send you more information about those areas, right? So whatever neighborhood it is that you sort of landed on, we can go look at homes in that area. I can send you data about that particular neighborhood. We can start a conversation about what it might look like theoretically to live there, all right? So that way people are visiting the site, they're using the tool, they're getting all this great value, but you're also capturing the most eager leads, right? So that's just kind of one way to use it, but I did want to make sure you understood that before we get started. So we're going to start from the beginning. All right. So let's go over to ChatGPT. And I have a paid account, right? So I want to be clear that, it does help to have a paid account here. But I do think you can do a lot of this with the free version if you want to try it and kind of start there, kind of decide what you need to do from there. I think it's $20 a month for the paid ChatGPT account. All right. So what I'm gonna let's just kind of start here. I think what I want to start out with is I want to see if ChatGPT can help me make a decision on the next tool that I should build. All right. And this is where, for this very first iteration in the future, I think I'm going to ask the viewers, hey, what should I make today? What sort of tool should I build? But I'm going to start out with just making this from my end of perspective. And obviously we'll try that next time, right? So let's going to say I want to build an AI powered tool that uses the OpenAI API system. I need the tool to be embedded on my website, and I'll use Hugging. We're going to use huggingface.co to host the tool. So this is good stuff. Obviously what I'm doing right now, this is called prompt engineering, right? So this is me basically writing out a prompt for ChatGPT. And actually, let me adjust my my screen just a little bit. I'm gonna get rid of that banner for everybody, just so that we're not covering up anything that you might be trying to watch there. And so what we're gonna see here is that I'm gonna tell ChatGPT kind of how I want it to behave, right? So the first thing I want it to do is I want it to help me make this decision. Like, what the heck should I make my next tool about? What should I have it do? Okay. I need you to help me make a decision on the next tool I should create. The tool should help business owners who are thinking about using AI lead magnets to attract new customers. Let's brainstorm some ideas on an AI-powered tool that would help that specific type of customer. All right, so let's see what it gives us here, right? So we're just kind of getting the conversation started. This is, this is a lot of times the first time you have a conversation with ChatGPT like this, you're not going to get a good answer, right? Because a lot of what gives you a good answer here is the prompt that you put in the first place, right? So let's take a look at this. Now, I am a little bit right off the bat and actually impressed by what it came up with here, because these are some of the ideas that I've sort of had in the past. So there's also a certain element of your ChatGPT account does kind of learn from you as you interact with it. And so maybe that's an aspect of this that we're kind of seeing here. So let's see what it came up with, right? So I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do this from scratch. I'm going to show you the whole process here over the next few minutes, but I don't know what I want to make yet, which is kind of making it even more interesting as we go here. So what did it come up with? All right, so AI-powered lead magnet recommendation engine. I mean, this is one that I've already had, obviously, as an idea, which is just that it's going to look at the business and it's going to recommend to them what tool they should build, right? So literally, it's a tool that does the process that we're currently going through, right? So that's its number one recommendation. I don't hate that. I've already kind of thought about that before. So there's a good chance we're going to go with that one right off the bat, right? But let's see what else it came up with. We got customer persona generator. This is another one I've actually thought about. And again, this is where maybe it's kind of calling back some of the previous conversations that I've had with it. That would basically help the user define their ideal customer, right? So who is it that they're trying to attract in their business? AI-driven content creation assistant. So that's another good idea. Assistant will help business owners generate high quality content for their lead magnets, right? Engagement score predictor, market trend analyzer, AI optimization dashboard, virtual event planner. That's kind of an interesting one. So since webinars and live talks can be effective lead magnets, an AI tool that helps plan these events could be valuable, right? So that's not a bad idea. And then an interactive AI chatbot for lead qualification. Okay. So there's a lot of good ideas there. I'm a little bit surprised at how well it understood me. Now, granted, I've done a lot of this now, right? So one of the things that you'll see if you kind of reread this prompt here is it's pretty intentional, right? It's pretty specific. So it's telling the system exactly how I want it to behave. That's really important. So anytime you're talking to ChatGPT or any AI for that matter, if you're not getting the kind of responses you want, you do have to ask yourself, am I maybe making some mistakes here? Okay, am I not talking to the AI with the right structure, the right format, right? So when you do that, you get a much better result. Okay, so let's go ahead and run with this first one. I don't want to overcomplicate it. Like I said, I was already kind of thinking on that one. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go over to, so let me show you again. I'm going to kind of show you how I would do this if I was doing it from scratch. But I'm obviously not doing it from scratch because I've done this a lot before, right? So one of the first things you need to do is you got to go to huggingface.co, all right? Now, this is just so you kind of know what huggingface.co is. Let's go to the home page for just a second here. Check this out. It's a lot of fun. There is literally, so Hugging Face is a platform for experimenting with new AI tools. So basically a bunch of AI nerds all over the world will come onto this platform. They'll build their own AI tools and they'll put them out there for other people to try and experiment with, right? I host everything I build on Hugging Face. At some point, I am going to look for ways to get out of using Hugging Face. There's kind of some reasons that might be advantageous in the future. But for now, it does everything I need it to. And it's free, which is really nice, right? So you get a free platform. It's going to host your tools for you. And they're called Spaces. Now, one of the cool things that Hugging Face allows you to do is you can copy the existing spaces. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here. I've got this marketing strategy suggester, and I'm going to copy this space to get started with my new tool, right? So we decided we're going to make a tool that helps someone determine the type of AI lead magnet that they should develop for their own business. So let's say AI lead. And you can't have any spaces in the name here. So AI lead gen. Let's see here. AI lead gen strategist, maybe. Call it something like that for now. And then the other thing we need is we need an OpenAI API key. All right. So what that means is I got to go at this point, you would want to have this account already set up. So I'm going to OpenAI, getting my API account, logging in here. This is not hard to get set up. Takes about 2 minutes. What you want to do is just literally Google OpenAI API and then get set up with. It's interesting. This is new. Introducing projects, group your work, isolate. Cool. Okay. So once you're logged in here, what you're looking for is your API keys. Let's see here. I think I'm in the wrong account though. Let me log out of that real quick and log into my actual account. I got a lot of different accounts here on OpenAI's platform. So I'm gonna make sure I'm getting the right one. That should be it. Let's get ourselves logged in and keep moving here. All right. So I need an API key. There's just the one in here. So I wonder if is this the wrong account again? Just give me one more second. That should be the right one. All right, so we're gonna get our API key. Just give me a second here to finish this process. Let's create a new one. Let's do test. Create this key. Copy that over. And then we copy that in right here, okay? So this duplicates the space on Hugging Face, all right? So this again, now I have this entire new space, and what that means is I have a new tool. I have an actual copy of this existing AI lead gen strategist, or sorry, the existing, it was a similar tool. It was a marketing strategist, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to the back end, right? So again, and I'm not gonna, this is a demo. I'm not gonna show you like every last little detail. I'm just gonna kind of move a little bit quick here. But I'm going to files. I just want to make sure you know where I was going there. So clicking on files, going to the app.py, and we're gonna copy this out of here. So this is one of the things I want you to understand is as I'm doing this, that is scary, right? So if you don't know code, if you've never written any code in your life, which, I did a little bit of this in college. I don't really remember any of it. And I was very bad at it. I had a very smart partner at the time in my classes, and they basically kind of did all the work. So, but I have seen code before, right? So this isn't totally sort of foreign to me. So I'm going to copy this out of here. But here's the thing. I don't have to do anything to this code. I actually don't have to work with this code at all. So I've got a chat here I've been using for quite a while. It's going to use, so I'd say let's use this as a template. Use it to make a new tool that helps a business owner determine the kind of AI lead magnet they should build for their own business. Okay. Now, if you're going to do this, you're going to want to have a little bit better description when you get started, right? So you want to talk about, like, I'll tell you right now, the big thing is when you start the new chat with ChatGPT, you're going to want to explain to it, hey, I'm going to give you some code. I want you to use it as a template, and I only want to make you to make changes to any parts of the code that are necessary for the functionality for the new tool. Do not change anything else. Okay. So I didn't have to say all that because this chat already exists. It's already been up and running for a while. It kind of knows what I'm expecting. And but that's what you're going to do. Okay. Here you go. You can already see what's happening. So this is ChatGPT writing Python code, right? So in this case, this is the Python language. And it is writing code, theoretically. We'll find out if it works in a second here, for a completely new tool that does something completely different. Now, I did not tell it a ton of detail about exactly what the heck I was talking about with this new tool. I just sort of said, hey, here's the idea, make the tool, right? Because I've had a lot of conversations with this particular ChatGPT account, there's a good chance that it knows what I'm talking about, all right? So I'm just kind of skipping a couple of steps to keep moving forward here. But if it doesn't have that context, if you haven't been working with it before, you may need to be more specific. And I might have to be more specific here too. I don't really know for sure yet. All right. So now it's written the code. So first of all, just pause for a second to appreciate the fact that theoretically, again, we're going to test it in just a second, ChatGPT has made a completely new AI-powered tool from scratch in about a minute. I mean, that's what's crazy about this, right? Is that once you know how to do this, you can now create anything you can sort of imagine. I mean, this is very specific use case, but I mean, you can write computer code now. So you can make anything, right? We've added widgets to our website that we didn't know how to, we couldn't have made manually. We were able to go in here, talk to ChatGPT, and it makes it manually for us. I've made dozens of different versions of these AI tools. It's pretty remarkable. So let's see this in practice. Let's copy the code. We come back to huggingface.co. We click on edit again if it wasn't already clicked. It's going to make it editable. We're going to highlight all this. We're going to delete it. Let me get it all deleted first. I always like to delete it and then paste the new one in just to make sure that it does fully replace it. And then we click on commit changes to main down here at the bottom. All right. So this is going to take a second, and this will, if it worked, right, if it did everything we needed it to do, it's going to pop up and the tool is going to be available, and it's going to allow us to interact with it. So we'll see, right? Give it a minute or two. It usually takes a few minutes to get started. Once it is ready, we'll test it and we'll take it from there, right? Now, if it works, there is a lot of testing that comes next. And I think this is something that's really important to understand as we're waiting for this to get up and running. It is not enough to just make sure it functions. Okay. It's like, it's not good enough testing wise to just sort of put a couple test cases in and hit submit. And then oh, okay, I gave him a response. I'm good. I'm moving on. What you really have to look at is the quality of the responses, right? So far, so good. I'm going to say, let's see here, a marketing company that serves small businesses in St. Louis, Missouri, and then describe your target. Let's say roofing contractors. I'm just making this stuff up, right? So let's see what it comes up with. I don't know. This might not work, right? I mean, sometimes this stuff sort of breaks and doesn't work. But again, because I have ChatGPT sort of trained correctly, it looks like it's working, which is great, right? Because I mean, there have been times where the first time you do it, it doesn't work. You got to go back, have all these conversations with ChatGPT. That is worth learning how to do. But so far, so good, right? So it's running. If we get a response from this, it's going to be pretty amazing, because that means that, and there we go, right? So here it is, right? So we've got, considering that your business is a marketing company catering to roofing contractors in St. Louis, the following AI tool ideas might serve as excellent lead magnets for attracting your target customers. AI home improvement planning, project planning tool, roofing material selection guide AI tool, AI-based weather predictor tool for optimum roofing installation timings, AI chatbot for immediate customer inquiries, etc. From these, the top three that could uniquely appeal to your roofing contractor audience: an AI-based weather predictor tool, an AI-based cost estimation tool for roofing projects, or an AI-powered roof quality evaluation tool, right? So not bad for a first take, right? We're about 20 minutes into this demo. I probably spent the first 10 kind of getting you set up with everything. In less than 10 minutes, we created a completely new AI tool from scratch. I mean, there, here's the thing. Like this is the kind of stuff. Like I've been experimenting for a year to learn to do this, and I am starting to teach other people to do it too. It's you can learn it though. I mean, that's what's crazy is that this is the kind of stuff that once you know how to do it, I mean, just think about what that empowers you to do. Now I can go in and I can refine this, right? So let's take a look at that for just a second, because this is already created. It's already here, right? I mean, less than 20 minutes, we're already up and running. So let's go back to the files. And so, okay, one of the things, and this will be erased, unfortunately, now I shouldn't have clicked there yet, but you saw the responses there. That was a little wonky, right? Because it was a little bit weird. It was sort of like, these are AI tool ideas that the roofer might want to create, but I don't know as the marketing company that wants to work with roofers that made a lot of sense. So I'm going to keep testing it, right? Because here's the thing. This is where it gets tricky. Obviously making the tool in the first place might feel tricky, but this is really where it gets tricky, because we don't have to know how to write code, but we do need to know how to talk to AI. And that's what this ultimately is, right? You probably saw on the back end there that some of what we wrote earlier, the code that it generated, was actual code, and some of it was just English, right? It was just written words. So let's try another one. Let's maybe do something that's let's say like just a realtor. Obviously, we work with a lot of realtors, and a first-time home buyer, right? That's a little more straightforward. The first example was a little extreme. It was a B2B example. Maybe that confused it a little bit. So let's just do one that's pretty much as straightforward as it gets. I'm a real estate agent, I'm a realtor. I work with first-time home buyers, right? Let's see what it comes up with there. What I would do is I would go through lots of different scenarios. Put yourself in your ideal customer's shoes. Think about the kinds of things that they would put into the tool, and then just test lots of different iterations of those things, right? What you're looking for is how do the responses feel? Do the responses feel like something you would say? It doesn't have to sound exactly like you. I don't think that's the point. But you need to make sure that the responses make sense. Okay, so let's take a look here. And obviously you can see it, the responses are also a little different each time in terms of even formatting. That can be addressed if we wanted to, right? So we got virtual reality home tours. This tool provided an interactive 3D tour. That's a little complicated. AI property value estimator and personalized property recommendation engine. All right. So it gave us a bunch of other ideas here. So there's some challenges I'm already recognizing here with what we built. All right. So I've only done 2 tests. I would probably, if I was really doing this, I'd do more like 10. And then I'm going to start to make adjustments. All right. So the way we do that is we come over to files, we go into app.py file again, and then this is where it gets interesting, right? So this section right in here, so let's click on edit. And one of the things I can do is just sort of add some paragraph returns there so I can read all this stuff. Let me just do that first so that we can all see what we're looking at. There we go. All right, so here, this is the part of the tool where I'm telling the tool how to behave, right? So remember, I had to write a prompt earlier. I was talking about prompt engineering. This is the prompt for this particular tool. So this is what happens, right? And this is where I think a lot of the opportunity with these tools comes from. Yes, this works just like ChatGPT. Yes, it works and functions just like a chatbot would, but a chatbot is an open-ended conversation. This is very much not an open-ended conversation. And that's the whole point. The whole point is to give your customers, your prospects, an intentionally specific tool that only really does one thing, but does it much better than if they had, imagine somebody, okay, this is an AI lead gen strategist going to come up with ideas for the type of AI lead magnet you should create. That's incredibly specific, right? If you go out and say, hey, you should have an AI lead magnet on your website, it's an incredibly effective way to generate leads. Do you wonder which one you should have? Which one should you consider making or paying us to build for you? Go ahead and use this tool and it's going to tell you, right? That's a very specific thing. If we had a chatbot on our site, we said, hey, come have a conversation with a chatbot and it's going to help you figure out what AI tool to build. We're just adding extra steps. We wouldn't do that. We'd advertise our chatbot as, hey, it'll help you with anything. Come talk to our chatbot and it'll help you come up with any kind of strategy you can imagine. This is the other end of that spectrum, right? So that's what this is. This prompt that we have here, this is telling the tool exactly how to behave. And this is where we're eliminating steps for our customer, right? So let's take a look at how it did. You are an AI assistant specialized in crafting custom AI lead magnets for businesses. Your role is to help businesses owners understand the best type of AI lead magnet that could engage their specific audience and enhance their marketing efforts, considering the business type, the target audience, and any specific business goals the owner has. Then evaluate the type of business and the market it serves, generate ideas, yada, yada. That all makes sense, right? But this is where we have to start making changes. So you have to think about, what is it about this description? And I'll tell you right now, you have to do a lot of testing. So no matter how good you get at this, you will have to try it, see what its responses look like, and then keep coming back and testing, right? So don't think you're going to sort of nail it in the first try. There is a lot of back and forth that has to happen here. So what we would there's a couple things right off the bat, right? So you're an AI assistant specialized in crafting custom AI lead magnets. It's not quite what it does, right? So you're an AI assistant specialized in helping business owners come up with ideas for custom AI lead magnets for their business. All right. It's going to say your role is to help business owners understand the best type of AI lead magnet that can engage their specific audience and enhance their marketing efforts. All right. So then we've got evaluate the type of business and the market it serves, generate ideas. And so this is where, when you say the word generate, it tends to, you might want to say like consider. So that what I found is consider is a better word to get it to think of ideas without necessarily returning them to the user right away. And this is one of the things you'll see here is there's 5 steps. That's on purpose because the more steps you make the AI take, the better results it generally produces. All right. So again, I'm not going to have time to go through and make all the changes that I would to this, but I wanted to show you a couple things. So consider ideas for AI tools that could serve as effective lead magnets, considering at least 10 unique and innovative ideas. Okay, so this is where I might say each idea should be a tool that would help the ideal customer, or let's say target audience, use the same words. So target audience of the business before they would otherwise contact the business. So you see I'm being more specific now, right? Let's see, focus on how these tools. Okay, so that's a good one. So each idea helps the business for the others contact the business, focus on how these tools could solve problems or provide value specific to the business's target customers. So at the top 3, okay. So let's only make those changes for now, right? So we come down, we click save, and that's small stuff, but it's sometimes shocking how much a small change to the tool can have a big impact on the kind of responses it gives. Okay, so I'm not going to spend much more time working on tweaking the tool at all. I do want to sort of run one more test on it, see how it does. I will continue to test this tool. This is one that I very much want to have for my website. So let's try it again. So realtor and first-time home buyer. One of the things that I want to change, I probably won't do right now, but one thing I would continue to work on is helping the tool have a better understanding of the limitations of the kinds of tools you can build using the OpenAI API, right? Because one of the things you cannot do currently is you can't search the internet. You also are going to have a really hard time integrating like an existing database of information. Not that that can't be done with AI, but with this particular approach, it is going to be a little bit trickier. And so what you want to make sure that I would do in this case is make sure the tool understands the limitations. So it's only recommending things that they could actually build, right? Because otherwise, it's kind of one of those, like, it just doesn't really make sense, right? So for instance, an AI assistant for home search, well, let's see, perfect house, like, yeah, this is going to be hard, right? Now, a tool could do that, right? There's a lot of tools that already do that. I don't think we need to build an AI tool for that. But the second one, this is a little bit more doable, right? An AI mortgage calculator, I'd stay away from that just because, you're giving them numbers and that gets kind of gets a little bit hairy at that point. And then virtual AI home tour, again, this is getting outside of what the tool can actually do, right? But we are getting good ideas. And yes, these are all geared toward the end customer of this real estate agent, right? That was the thing I was trying to fix. All right, so there you go, right? I mean, so we're about half hour into today's demo. And I've built a completely new AI powered tool from scratch. So great, I've got the tool. What do I do with it? What's the point of all of this in the first place, right? And again, just a reminder, if you have any questions as we're going here, make sure you put them in the comments, and I'll make sure to respond to them as we're going, all right? So what we do with this tool, this is really where it gets fun. Well, it's already been kind of fun in my mind, right? But this is where you get to go out and sort of stir up a lot of conversations with people. So I showed this at the beginning, so I don't want to sort of dwell on it too much. But what I do want to show you here is how easy it is to get these from Hugging Face over onto your website. So one of the things you have to do is it does have to be set to public. So we go ahead and make it public. Now, that is okay, and I'll tell you why. That does mean that people can come on Hugging Face and use your tool, right? But you can also set up your tool to tell everybody who uses it to hire you. So that's okay, right? So if somebody comes and they use the tool and they're whatever, they're not on your website, but at the end of every response, and I didn't build that into that tool in particular, that's another thing we could do another time, but you can have the tool respond with your contact information, right? So even if it is on Hugging Face and somebody comes along and uses it, you've got this sort of built-in advertising that's happening for you. All right. So what we do is we go to embed this space. We click on copy. This is what's called an iframe, obviously. And then we take this over to our website and we paste it in, right? I mean, it really is that easy, right? So in this case, this is the landing page I showed you earlier, right? So this is what it looks like. This was the tool right here in the middle. And so what we do is we come in here. This is the actual editing part of it. I'm sure you all have access to your own website with, blog posts or landing pages, whatever it might be. And then this is an embed block. And there it is, right? The only thing I did is I changed the width and the height numbers to 100% and 700 pixels for the height. And there it is, right? And then it shows up just like this. It shows up like that in the middle of the screen. Obviously, it's a little scrollable, which I think is fine. And there you go. Now you got this on your website. I mean, so that, again, this is not necessarily all that complicated. There's some steps to go through there. But just pause there for a second, right? What does that mean you now have? That means you now have a website with a tool that is built to help your ideal customer, that's going to get them to spend more time on your site, that's going to get them to visit your site in the first place, and that is ultimately going to provide them with an experience that no one else is currently providing. I mean, that's what's so cool about this, is that you get to go out now and say to people, hey, look, I've got this AI tool. I've got this thing. Do you want it? And it's that simple, right? I mean, I'll actually show you. Let me show you a couple examples here. Go over onto Facebook for this. I've got one that's fairly recent that I can show you real quick. So one of the things you want to do is whenever you have your tool created, you just want to tell people it exists. There I am streaming right now, right? So let me show you what that looks like. All right, so I got a lot of posts that I've been putting out there. I got a lot of speaking gigs upcoming. A lot of stuff that I've been promoting. So give me just a second here. Obviously, this is me talking about this session I'm doing. And just a little further. I apologize. This is loading very slowly, probably because I'm streaming right now. And almost there. Okay, we're almost there. I promise. We're getting here. Okay, here it is. All right, so this is the most recent example, right? 59 comments. This is an organic free social media post. Okay. So just to be completely clear, I didn't pay to boost this, right? I mean, I'll show you, let me show you the insights here. So this will show you kind of how many total people, 1,000 people were shown this post, right? I mean, what did you do today to get the attention of 1,000 people? Probably nothing. No offense, right? But I mean, that's not necessarily easy to get the attention of 1,000 people. This was just a single post I put out, right? So what I did is I just said what I built. I built a marketing strategy AI tool that gives you unique marketing strategies based on the customers you want. You want to try it, right? There's lots of different ways to say this, right? So in this case, I would probably say, created a tool that helps you decide which AI lead magnet you should build for your customers. Want to try it for free? ? Same thing. I'm going to get a bunch of responses, right? What's so beautiful about this is every single person, right? 59 comments. A lot of those are me responding to people. I think it's about 30 total people, right? Maybe some of you watching right now even commented on that post. And the idea is that every single one of those people is now a qualified prospect, right? Because they're raising their hand and they're saying, yes, I need help with this thing, with this particular problem, and I want to try it right now, right? I mean, it's that simple. So what you're doing is you're creating the kinds of tools, the kinds of value that allow you to become a magnet for your ideal customer. It's that simple, right? So this is my example. There's so many of these. One other way, like we just kind of run through a bunch of other ideas really quickly for you. Number one, probably my favorite way to use this is look for existing posts in Facebook groups that your comment could generate the conversation you're looking for, right? So for example, if you go out and you're looking in local, people are talking, they're in the local, I don't know, that's one of the local Facebook groups. There's a lot of those out there, right? So they're out there and they're talking about, hey, I'm thinking about moving, what part of town would you recommend moving to? Hey, I actually built an AI tool that helps with that decision. It's gonna give you some personalized recommendations based on like what your ideal neighborhood would look and feel like. Would you like me to send you a link to it so you can use it for free? They say yes, almost always, right? Because again, it's very specific to their case. And then a bunch of other people come along and ask for it too. So that's what's, I think, a little bit tricky about this, is that you do have to be proactive, right? You do have to be looking for opportunities to offer this to people. Now, if you have some money to spend, you can do that with ads. And that's the easier way to do it, right? So you go out, you make something like this post, you make a little video, or there's different kinds of things you can do. And you just pay to put that in front of people, right? You run an ad, you put it out in front of people, you're done, right? It's as easy as that. And then they're opting in. And what you can do is set it up so that you get their contact information first, right? And I've done that too. So for instance, one of the things that I've done for our company Business Video School for months now is we have an AI tool that comes up with video ideas for the user, right? So they describe their ideal customer. That always helps, right? And what they do, and then it gives them 48 ideas for different videos that they should make over the course of the next year. It's a lot of value, right? I mean, this is not just a content calendar. This is a completely customized content calendar just for them, right? This kind of stuff that like literally was not possible a year or two ago, okay? So you give this away, and what they have to do is they have to fill out a form to receive it, right? So they're giving us their contact information. In fact, we have an ad even running right now where they give us their phone number in addition to their email. So now we're texting and emailing them. Texting is way more effective than email. I mean, that's a pretty broad statement. There's uses for both, but I really like being able to text people. It's been very productive for our business. And so you just offer the tool. Hey, I've got this free thing. You want access to it. They fill out a form. You set it up so they immediately get an email with a link to the tool. And now you have them as a lead, right? So that's pretty much the whole circle, right? So we've got this tool now. What I would do is I'd come in, I'd get this copied. I go over to my website, I put it in, and then I would get out there and I'd spread the word on this tool as much as I can. One additional thing I will mention here is that these tools also make your website a lot stickier, right? So it makes it so that, for instance, like what I could do with, I'm just going to use my neighborhood example. I can go through, I can make a list of all of the neighborhoods, right? All the bigger neighborhoods, all the smaller, specific subdivisions, get all of those names from my area, write like a 1-sentence summary of each one, and then say, hey, find your ideal neighborhood in the St. Louis area, put out a blog post that includes a video of me talking about, hey, there's all these neighborhoods. I got a list below if you want to check it out, but why don't you try my AI tool? It's just going to tell you exactly which one's the right fit for you. And what that will do for you is it creates an SEO optimized page that is going to show up in a bunch of search results for the local neighborhoods, but is also that much stickier, because while I might come to your site and read for a couple minutes a bunch of the descriptions of the different neighborhoods, if I have this tool to play around with, I'm going to spend 2, 3, 4 times more time on the website. What does that tell Google and the search engines? Hey, this website's really valuable. People are spending a lot of time there. Show it to more people, right? So you can see it helps your SEO, it helps you lead gen, it helps improve your customer service. There's just a lot of areas where this can help you out, right? Okay, so I want to kind of keep this somewhat straightforward. I know it's already a lot that we've kind of gone over here. So what I want to just kind of mention here at the end as I wrap up for today is what if you want to be able to learn to do this stuff yourself, right? Now, you saw what I did today. You could sort of go copy this process as much as you can, by all means, right? I mean, I figured this out on my own over the course of the past year. However, I am going to be hosting a live course. This is a very specific course for just 10 people. Okay, so this is very intimate. It's not going to be cheap, just to be completely transparent. It's also, I don't think, that expensive, but it's 6 weeks, and you're going to work both in a small group as well as one-on-one with me. So we have 6 classes. They're an hour long, followed by 30 minutes of sort of work session time. And those 6 classes start on May 9th. right? So if you're interested in this and you want to talk about it, let's talk about it soon because it is coming up. Class number 1 will teach you how to become an AI engineer. So how to do the stuff that I was just showing you here today. Class 2, we're going to define an AI tool for your customer journey. You may already have an idea there. And this is also a session I'll work one-on-one with you outside of that time to refine that idea, make sure it's the right one. Class 3, we just really work on building the tool, making sure that it works. We got peer review and testing in class number 4. Make sure your tool works, as your clients expect it to work. And see if you can break your fellow classmates' tools to see if there's anything working incorrectly there. And then class 5 and 6, we're going to launch the tool, get it up on your website, and then market the heck out of it, right? So by the end of that 6 weeks, you've got your own AI tool. You also have a ChatGPT account, a Hugging Face account, an OpenAI API account. All of those things are set up to allow you to make as many of these tools as you want. I mean, imagine every week being able to offer people another free AI tool. That's kind of stuff I'm able to do right now, right? So it means it's very, very powerful. So that's the 6-week class. We're at the end there. We're going to go over that. The additional 3 one-on-one sessions, I mentioned the AI tool review. There's 30 minutes of just general support. You can use it anytime. And then at the end, we'll do a landing page review and make sure that the way you've integrated your tool into your website is optimized, right? The course is $2,500. It's a one-time payment, and the way you reserve your spot is by making that payment. It's that simple, okay? So if you do want to get signed up, just let me know. You can send me a direct message, probably the easiest way to do it. On, I don't know which platform you're watching on right now, but if you're on really any of them, I should be able to get your message. And if you need to talk further, we can, right? So if you want to talk to me about this, kind of pick my brain a little bit before you get signed up, that's fine. I just started to sort of promote this. I've had a fair number of conversations already. I don't know how fast it's going to fill up, but I am talking a lot about AI over the next month. And I would expect that those spots will fill pretty quickly. Because again, this is the kind of stuff that there's only a small handful of people in the whole world that know how to do it. And so the technical side, sure, there's a probably decent number of people that could work with ChatGPT to make these tools. Very few people know how to do this from a marketing perspective, right? And that's really what we're talking about here is making AI tools that are optimized to provide value to your customers in such a way that you can generate leads on demand at any time, right? And again, I'm showing you examples that are organic. This is as close to free as you can possibly get. Every time somebody uses one of these tools, it costs me a fraction of a penny. That's it. It's a very small cost. So the cost of executing this is very low. But obviously, once you learn to do it, you can do as much of it as you want, right? So anyway, that's all I got for you here today. Again, if you have any questions and you want to know more about the course, you can shoot me a DM. If you want to sign up for the course, shoot me a DM as well. I'll send you the link. You can get registered. I'm ready to go. And if you do have any questions I can answer for you, feel free to reach out about those as well. All right. So I don't think I see any other questions come through. That's great. Hopefully this made sense. So, I do want to see your feedback. If this is interesting, if you feel like seeing more of these live streams might be helpful to continue to kind of learn how to do these things, let me know. You can either comment on this video or, again, you can send me a message, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you next time. Bye.